Bonjour, bonjour et bienvenue. Je m'appelle Herman. My name is Herman. Today's lesson will be a conjugation lesson, une leçon de conjugaison, and we're going to focus a bit more on er-verbs, les verbes en er. Les verbes en er, which are also called verbs of the first group, les verbes du premier groupe. We've already dealt with these verbs in a previous lesson, and we've said that er-verbs are by far the easiest verbs, French verbs, to conjugate. They tend to have a regular pattern of conjugation in the simple present, and we didn't have to worry much about any sudden changes. However, in today's lesson, we're going to see a few exceptions. We unfortunately have a couple of exceptions to worry about, but it should be fine. It's not too hard to remember these rules, as you will see. So let's get started. Let's take a look at 3 sentences, each of them containing er-verbs. Le prof répète la phrase. Le prof répète la phrase. So this verb here, répète, as you can guess, is to repeat, comes from the infinitive répéter. Répéter, to repeat. Je préfère la vanille au chocolat. I prefer vanilla over chocolate. So, je préfère comes from the verb préférer, préférer. Also an er verb, as you can see, er verb. Finally, elle espère vivement son retour. Elle espère vivement son retour. She eagerly hopes for his return. Espère comes from espérer, to hope. Espérer. Now, we are dealing clearly with er verbs, so that gives us a bit of hope, right? Oh, it's fairly easy to conjugate er verbs. And if you are not sure how, please go back to our lesson on er verbs, where we explained the patterns, at least in the simple present, le présent de l'indicatif, we have explained how to conjugate er verbs. Now, préférer, répéter, espérer have something slightly different, a little different. Pay attention to the last syllable. So here we have répéter. So T here is the last syllable. Préférer. Ré is the last syllable. Espérer. Ré here is the last syllable. And look at the letter that precedes directly the last syllable. We have E. This is the letter that precedes directly the last syllable. So whenever you have such a letter A preceding a last syllable in French, those verbs will tend to have a different kind of conjugation, which we'll study now. So, okay, we've already said that. Regular verbs, er verbs, yeah, they tend to have predetermined conjugation patterns. Yes, they are easy, right? Now, when you have these verbs whose last syllable, the last syllable here, is preceded by A, then we need to change something. And what do we need to change? Well, in the first person singular, meaning with je, the second person singular, tu, the third persons, meaning il, elle, singular, on as well, and il, elle, plural, you know, these are ILS, il, and elle, like this. This is the plural form. So in the third persons, the E that you see here will turn into E. Again, let me repeat that one again. E. That's why we have here répète. The infinitive is répéter, répéter. However, when we conjugate this in the third person, le prof, so the teacher, he, third person singular, we say répète, et. Here we have it. Here we have et. Alright? So this is the change happening. So for these persons, first, second, and third persons, the E accent grave, E accent aigu, that's what it's called in French, E accent aigu, I acute accent, E accent aigu will become E accent grave, E, est. That's the transformation here. So we have verbs like répéter, compléter, espérer. They all will have et right before the final syllable. Compléter, répéter, espérer. Even the verb péter. Péter, péter, it means to explode or to fart. To explode or to fart. So these verbs will have will observe some changes. Okay, so keep this in mind. Now let's conjugate a few verbs here to see the transformations in action. I'm using all the persons, all the singular pronouns. Je, tu, il, elle, on. So first person, second person, third person, singular. And here, plural form, right? So, je, tu, il, elle, on. Nous, vous, il, elle. Let's begin with répéter, to repeat. Je répète, tu répètes, il répète, elle répète, on répète. Nous répétons, vous répétez, il répète, elle répète. Again, je répète, tu répètes, il répète, elle répète, on répète. Nous répétons, vous répétez, il répète, elle répète. That's how you will conjugate to repeat, répéter in French. As you can see, the et that we have in the infinitive form remains the same for nous and vous. But for the other subject pronouns, je, tu, il, elle, on, il, elle, the et becomes est. So we go from et to est. Same thing for préférer. Je préfère, tu préfères, il préfère, nous préférons, vous préférez, il préfère, elle préfère. As you can see, for nous and vous, the et remains the same as in the infinitive form. But for the rest, we have est. So that's how you will work out the transformations. So this will be it. I hope you found this useful. Now, before ending this lesson, we have a short quiz. Okay, should you have an accent or not? Take a look at the following phrases. So we have here a subject pronoun, tu. Here we have nous, elle, on, je, il. And these verbs are, the ones that we are studying right now. The ones where the final syllable is preceded by a. So look at these ones. So here we have espérer. So tu espères. So is this correct? Is this correct? Tu espères? Well, if it is, leave it as is. Do not change anything. Nous espérons. Is this correct? For nous, should we expect an accent somewhere or not? Take a look at those verbs. For nous, do we have an accent before the final syllable? It looks like we do. And this accent, is it a? Acute accent, accent aigu? Yes, it is. So here, nous espérons, we have no accent here, so this is wrong. We need to correct this. So, nous espérons. We hope. So this will be correct. This is not. There's a mistake here. This is correct. Tu espères. Because look, the accent going the other way. Tu espères. Second person. Tu répètes, we have est. Accent going this way. And look at this one, accent going this way. So tu espères is correct. And we still use the same endings of er verbs. Okay, so go back to the er verbs and you still stick to the same endings. Just a slight change for the letter here, a turning into e. So go ahead and fill in the blanks and I will be post your answers in the French lab and I will be happy to provide some answers if necessary. Merci, à très bientôt. Au revoir. Bye bye.